All right, good morning. My name is Rose Loveall. I am at Morningsun Herb Farm here in Vacaville, California. I am the proud owner of this nursery along with my husband. We've been here for 30 years.
Yeah, and I'm Stefani Bittner. I'm the owner of Homestead Design Collective, and I use all of Rose's beautiful plants in the gardens that I design here in the Bay Area. So we have this great relationship. Rose is the mother of all of my garden plants.
I am. I'm the mama of all these wonderful plants. So this nursery is just a small little niche nursery. We grow what we sell here at Morningsun. We are here in this wonderful display garden that we use for teaching. We use as our cutting garden. We use to kind of learn whether plants are going to do well here in our climate because we're super hot in the summer. We have a mild winter, but we have 110-degree summers often. And we actually take a lot of cuttings and collect our own seed here. So we grow what we sell and start to finish. We do it right here at the nursery.
And there are so many good plants in here. So should we, like some of your favorites, my favorites? Where do you want to start?
Sure, some of our favorites. And we're lucky because we had a really mild summer. So it's fall right now, but things are just like joyously blooming, and we might have some really hangry hummingbirds actually zoom by. So if you see us hit the ground, it's because there's a hummingbird.
Yes.
It's so beautiful. And you've been developing this particular display garden for years now.
This is about 25 years. And of course, everyone knows gardens are not static, so things die. But some of these plants have been here for 25 years.
Show me some of your favorites.
Sure.
All right.
Well, we're gonna start really close because there's a new favorite for me, and that is this aster that we've been growing for about 4 years. And you know, for me, some things like asters, I would always go, ooh, not an aster, such an everyday plant. And we started to grow this about 3 years ago. And all summer long, it's just this green plant. It doesn't do much. And then it started blooming. It's October now. It started blooming actually towards the end of July. And it's kind of like finishing now, but it's been blooming with these incredible white blooms for about 2.5 months. And it's a great pollinator plant. And of course, it's a great one for cut flowers. It's just stupendous.
And it's also like tough as nails.
Tough as nails.
Everything in this display garden does not get babied.
No, we're kind of hard here.
So this is a plant that you can plant it and forget it, and then you just walk out in like August, September, and you have new flowers.
Yeah.
Everything.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Yeah, those are the kind of plants you want in your landscape. Like you want things that you just set it and forget.
What aster cultivar is it? Do you know?
So this one is Ericoides Monte Cassino.
Okay.
And it is just spectacular. It looks just like a green little shrublet early in the summer, and then it's a riot of blossoms the end of the summer. So it's a great one to like bring your garden back into bloom.
It softens the edges.
Softens the edges. It's so useful.
I heard the hummingbirds around here.
Oh, angry. There they go. Everywhere. And one of the reasons is that we're bothering them in front of one of their favorite plants. This is a beautiful salvia right here. And this is Salvia amistad. And it's a Guarnitica hybrid. And it blooms all the time. And so it's in the shade here. On the other side of the garden, it's in full sun.
And it blooms in both shade and sun, which again, everyone needs a plant that can bloom in many different places in the garden.
Right.
Especially
And it's awesome in cuts because I actually like it when the flowers fall off.
Yeah.
And I like the seed heads in the
I do
arrangements.
too. They're so purple but
Yeah.
dark.
And
The
almost
calyx is incredible.
It's really great.
I have one that's sort of like this that's got an unfortunate cultivar name of black and blue.
Yeah, black and blue is right here.
I see. It's a lighter purple.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
So,
There's a difference.
so odd that you mentioned that because here's one of the things. Black and blue runs like crazy in the garden, and I love it too, but it becomes a weed really quickly, and amistad stays in place.
Okay.
So amistad friendship, it can be a friendship plant in your garden because it won't become a vicious weed. Black and blue has a different color, but boy, it can be really weedy in the garden.
Nice to see them both together and realize that this has got a deeper, plummier.
Yeah.
And this is beautiful. What is this?
Oh, that is an iachroma. That is, I think that's called purple. Oh, do you know the cultivar on that? I think it's called purple king or some. Yeah, I've got a couple.
Iachroma.
Iachroma. I've got one here. I've got another one on the other side there. It does beautiful in our climate. Again, for fall gardens, beautiful.
I would say, Rose, that is not winter hardy in Seattle.
No, the iachromas, no.
Yeah. So I'm going to see some things that are new to me.
I'm trying to get us to the Leppicina.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, let's go there.
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. So beautiful.
So I put this plant in almost all my gardens because of the fall flowers, and it also is incredibly fragrant. It kind of smells like 7-Up.
I can smell it from here.
Yeah.
It's really minty. Like I think it smells like 7-Up.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I wish there was scratch and sniff on the iPhone.
I know. I know.
It's the foliage that we're smelling.
It's
not
the foliage.
It's the foliage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say the name again slowly.
Lepicinia is the genus.
Yes.
It's huge. Like it's a plant that you would put at the back of a border there.
I put it in a lot of meadow plantings and gravel gardens. So again, another tough as nails, low water, especially with gravel gardens, everything is so spring, summer forward.
Right.
So the lavender is kind of kaput. And then all of a sudden this guy just comes up with these magenta blooms.
And
It's fantastic.
This one is hustata, Lepicinia hustata. So most people are familiar with the California native ones, but this is actually native to Hawaii. But high elevation Hawaii, it does great here. And we drop down to the mid-20s here in the winter.
Yeah.
It does fine.
Yeah. And you can see the bees. It's such a great nectar source for
It's
fall nectar.
It's kind of vibrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously hummingbirds love it too. But the bees, look at them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They're all over it.
I love it.
And then
Behind
your
that,
grape scented.
Yeah, we do have to.
Shall I go around? I'll follow you, Stephanie. You guys
This
are
guy's.
gonna-
You have another really big one out there, but
Yeah,
I love this plant.
Yeah, if only, this is another scratch and sniff plant. This is Salvia melissadora, grape scented sage from higher elevation Mexico. And the flowers are edible.
So perfect for, I don't know, a salad, a cupcake, a cocktail.
The cocktail. The foliage is wonderful. It's great because these are all things that bloom off season. So your hangry hummingbirds can really enjoy this area, and it's great. It's a great bee plant.
It's
Not
a
for
big
the.
shrub. It kind of reminds me of almost like a buddleia in form. Do you whack it back or?
It can be cut way back,
Okay.
yes. But again, you'd cut it back kind of at a strange season. So as everything's coming into bloom in the spring, this would get pruned back. So
that it can bloom later.
yes, yeah, exactly. So that's kind of the fun part.
And it gets so tall. So I like to cut huge branches like this for big arrangements. So again, another set it and forget it plant. I have this in my garden in Lafayette, and I just take big cuttings of it when it's in bloom.
Brilliant.
It's
Right.
really beautiful.
Because it probably is not even noticeable when you're taking big branches.
No, not at all. That's what you want.
Oh, variegated myrtle, Myrtus communis variegata.
Oh my gosh, the fruit.
And
is
it's in fruit.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Oh,
a white bloom in the spring, and then this berry.
again, I would love that in arrangements.
Yes.
Or does it
This
drop?
is what
It
Rose
would
uses in
drop
her-
over
in her
time,
wreaths.
but for fresh wreath making in the fall and winter, it's so pretty. Actually, the foliage dries fairly pretty. The berries will drop.
Yeah.
So I mean, you wouldn't want it for an indoor wreath, but they'll hold on for long enough to enjoy it for the holidays.
Yeah, that's,
You know,
that's
very
all you
pretty.
want.
And this makes something called myrto. So they use it in Sardinia as a digestivo. So
The fruit.
yeah. So it's a drink
Yeah. All of this is fragrant
There's
and a cocktail.
theme here.
and a cocktail. Yeah, there's a theme.
This is what edible landscapes are all about.
I know. Okay, so you were going to talk about what? The oregano.
Oh, the oregano. So there's you always think of culinary oregano, but there's also oregano that you can eat if you wanted to, but they're also you can walk on them. So they're, beautiful steppable oreganoes.
And you release the aroma when you're
Yes. And they're sturdy. So there's a couple really great ones. This one's golden oregano, which can go in more shade. Our biggest selling one is this guy over here, which is the dwarf Greek oregano.
I put this one in all my gardens.
Yeah, dwarf Greek oregano is just impossible to kill. It's just really fabulous. It's a little bit more mild flavored with a little pink flower, but it's really great. You, say you have a rose garden and you want something that's attractive around the base of the rose, but you need to work around your roses. So you can use this around your roses and still have an attractive ground cover, but you can feel free to stomp on it. All of these you can stomp on, this one especially.
And if people have dogs, it's another great dog garden kind of plant because it's so tough. The dogs can run through it. They'll smell better by running through it.
Walking
The main thing is if you are using it as a steppable, you just don't want to harvest it for eating. You want to then harvest the ones to eat actually that are a little bit more in the garden because if it's getting stepped on all the time, you don't want to eat things that your feet are on.
Right.
This whole theme of your garden, Rose, is you're called Morningsun Herb Farm. And I'd love to know your definition of herb, what makes a plant an herb. And I think Stephanie can weigh in because she's got her own take on this, because you both have spoken and taught and written about herb plants. So it's not just a little culinary herb that falls in under that definition, right?
Right. Well, I mean, they're the functional plants. They're the usable plants. So it's not just, right, an herb by definition would be an herbaceous plant. It would also be a plant that would be something that would be usable to us, but that doesn't account for lavender and rosemary and bay trees.
Right. That's bigger than an herbaceous.
500-year-old, evergreen. So it's a plant that is either historically useful or useful now for women or men. So it can be something that we don't use anymore, like woad isn't that useful of a plant to us anymore, but it has a long history. Mandrake has a really long history. Or it can be something that we use all the time, like echinacea. But it doesn't necessarily fall under just the botanical definition anymore.
And as a nursery owner, you're pretty broad.
Oh man, I'm super democratic. I'll bring it all.
Everyone's
in there.
welcome. Everyone can have a place in the garden.
It's a big tent. The herb tent is huge. I'll take roses. We got capers. I'll grab them all.
Well, that kind of flows into Stephanie's agenda, which is edible, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was joking that Rose is the mother of all of my gardens, but it's true. My gardens feature all of Rose's plants. And the idea is that these plants are beautiful and harvestable because our gardens take a lot of resources. So why not we give to our gardens? Why not have our gardens give back to us through harvest? So yes, you can step on this oregano, but you also can use it in the kitchen. You can put it in arrangements. When it's in bloom, it's so beautiful. And oregano is also a fantastic medicinal. So we use it in tea. Rose taught me to put it in my bath. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with oregano. It's really one of the superfoods. So not only is it tough as nails, because let me tell you, oregano, you cannot kill it by neglect.
Right.
It wants to be neglected. If you fertilize it, it gets pissed off at you. So you need some plants in your garden, like if you're growing dahlias, tomatoes, the rock stars, right, that need a lot of love and care, you need other plants that you can forget about, and yet they still give you something.
Okay, we're going to go into the fabulous scented geranium world of Rose Loveall, and Stephanie's here to show us what you have. Now, of course, you're in the Bay Area, so most of these scented geraniums can grow in the landscape year-round, outdoors, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so a lot of florists want these beautiful scented leaves, and a lot of farmers grow them, but people just don't know enough about keeping them from year to year. So how do you propagate these?
Oh, most of the scented geraniums are very easy to propagate. and easier to propagate than most of your other perennials. They actually don't like to be dipped in any rooting compound. That's the number one thing. And they also like to be callous slightly. So we like to take our cuttings, and when you take your cuttings, oh, wait a minute, I brought clippers. So after you take
Got a demo here.
So we'll take a cutting, make sure you give it a little bit of a trim there, and we'll actually leave this little cutting. I would make it a little bit shorter. And then I'll let that sit out on our table for about 20 minutes or even a little bit longer. Let it callus a little bit.
Just in the air.
Just in the air, in the open air. Don't dip it in rooting compound, which it goes against all those things that we learn for everything else. Don't dip it in rooting compound at all. It will just go directly into your rooting soil, your potting soil.
What medium do you like to use?
Is
it this your donkey poop that you use?
No. Donkey poop is magical, but only in the garden. No. No, we usually use a mix of perlite and then like a seeding mix.
Okay. Just to make it...
it needs to be a sterilized mix.
Okay, and have a little bit of drainage.
Yes, have good drainage. For scented geraniums, remember, most scented geraniums are native to Africa. They want excellent drainage. And so we use half perlite and half of a rooting mix, soil mix, but no rooting compound on it whatsoever. So super easy.
Great. All right. Well, I'd love to have you and Stefani show us. You said you grow over 30 varieties?
We grow over 30 varieties during the year.
Okay.
Some of them are really obviously scented, like lemon or rose or orange. A lot of them are more calmly scented, or they just get described as fragrant or nutty,
So I love maple gray. I think the smell of maple gray is hands down my favorite scented geranium. But I like this guy because he's so good in arrangements.
And this is lemon.
This is lemon scented.
Oh yeah, I mean the stem is so
long,
beautiful.
And this guy gets big and gets really big.
So Stefani, this is like if you had this in your garden, it would get so large you could just cut away at it all year long.
All year long.
Yeah.
People use this for topiaries. They will horticulture it. So they'll. It's a technical,
is that a term?
It's a technical term, horticulture. So they will actually take it. They'll start it when it's a little bit younger than this, but they'll actually strip these lower branches and they will actually twist them around each other.
To create a little trunk.
To create a trunk, yeah. You'd like to start when it's a little younger, but you can actually do that with something like this and make a little tree out of it and then pom-pom the top.
Oh, how fun.
Okay,
I love it.
This guy, look at the beautiful chocolate marks on him.
And this is called what?
Staghorn oak.
I put this in almost all of my cut flower gardens.
My gosh.
Look how beautiful it is.
It has that kind of oak leaf, but also staghorn fern kind of vibe.
Yeah. This one's great for arrangements.
And that one is called fragrant, right? It's up to you to decide what the fragrance is.
Right,
so some people call it fresh, some people call it piney.
It's so hard to describe fragrance. It's such a personal thing.
Right.
And so many people use food names.
Right.
For these, the apple and the lemon and all rose.
That's what makes it fun for kids, of course, because kids will recognize a lot of them. All of these along here are lemon scented, so you're going to get different lemon scents. So part of it is texture and feel.
And there's some that are more golden, some that are more of a darker basil green, and then some variegated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they will be very different. So these right in here are all lemon. Those over there, that's gooseberry over there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go around.
Gooseberry is really fun. And then you have the little lemon crispum. Which is hard to put in an arrangement, to be honest.
No, it's for.
I use it for garnishing. And
super
cooking.
Yeah, super slow. Super slow.
What about that big leaf one that Stefani was designing with? What was that one? Apple?
It's over there. Oh, that's
Should we go
wonderful.
look at that?
Well, there's a couple of them that are very popular with the florists.
Because they want kind of the bold texture, right?
Yeah, and it's just a great color.
Here is, of course, the mother of all. This is your traditional rose-scented geranium. This is attar rose. This is the one we use. We will actually take all these leaves. I have a bunch of them in the ground. We have a row in the ground. I squat down at my neighbor's farm. I squat on all my neighbor's farm down at a Soul Food Farm, and we have a 150-foot row. And we distill hydrosol out of this one.
It's so incredible.
Oh my gosh!
So
From the rose of attar.
Yes.
Wow. And what do you call it? A rose mist or?
Right, we call it flower water because that doesn't sound too technical. It's technically it's a hydrosol, but then that sounds chemical.
Okay.
But it's a hydrosol.
Okay.
We never get enough essential oil out of it to actually produce an essential oil, just the hydrosol. The little bit of essential oil we get is blue, which is really interesting.
Wow.
It's blue, like chamomile is blue.
Wow.
But we get like 10 milliliters out of 100 plants. So I don't know how much we'd have to get.
Wow. This guy.
Yes.
So this is the variegated form of the peppermint geranium.
Yeah.
So
This
this-
would definitely not be winter hardy in my garden.
No, this one is not super winter hardy, but it is incredible in flower arrangements.
Oh, I love it.
So there's that guy, and then you just have the plain
Peppermint.
peppermint.
Great.
On the East Coast, of course, it's nothing for gardeners to bring these plants in. They're used to it.
And treat them as just house plants or bring them into the nursery?
You can
Like
use these as houseplants.
Okay.
You can easily use these as
Or you
houseplants.
bring them in as into a greenhouse kind of setup.
Into a greenhouse. Or a lot of people bring them into their basement even, like they
Oh.
do their rosemary plants.
Yeah.
But they work fairly well as houseplants. You just have to keep them on the dry side. Yeah, strangely, they'll get a little bit of insect
And
problems.
then I've noticed sometimes they get, like in my greenhouse, if I bring a scented geranium plant in, it gets really elongated and really leggy in the winter. What do you do in that case? Do you just cut them back?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they take to pruning with no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't mind being pruned back.
And then you
It's
get a
fine.
more compact,
Exactly.
dense plant with
Exactly.
new growth. Great.
Yeah, we prune heavily here too because during the short days, we do get clouds. We are, we're California. but
Well, you have a shade cloth here because you are in Vacaville, which is hotter
right.
than
right.
the Bay Area, but the cloud cover does come through in the
Right,
mornings.
so they start to elongate, and we'll just prune them back heavily,
Mm.
and they're fine.
So on this, okay, we're here October 4th. What is your care strategy for the rest of the year?
We just brought out a brand new batch of scented geraniums, and part of that is because people will buy them at this time of the year with the intent of keeping them indoors.
Okay.
And what we found is that we sell a lot to the East Coast and the Midwest for people who are going to use them as houseplants. So, and there's not a lot of nurseries that sell them and ship them. There are nurseries that sell them, but not that ship them. I'm not sure why, because they're fabulous plants. They're easy to grow. They're super giving. They smell great. They're tactile. You can rub them all over your body. They're fun. They're fun. They're fun plants.
And the way you
Yes.
ship them, like Stephanie's holding what is this, a 6-inch?
Oh, this is a 4-inch pot.
4-inch.
Is this a crispum?
Now, this is the contorted
Contorted,
scented geranium
Colocho.
colocho.
It's kind of a
I
weirdo.
It's
love
super
this
weird.
plant.
I got to take that home for Lorraine.
She will
she'll love it.
It's very bizarre, and the flowers are weird. The petals just hang down, super skinny. The
Yeah.
flowers are equally contorted.
It's more about the foliage and the
Yeah,
structure.
and you
Yeah.
you put it in a garden bed and it actually will kind of drape down. So some of the scented geraniums, like Maple Gray, gets like 3-4 feet tall, straight up, like a columnar. This guy actually likes to cascade down.
Which is nice for a
Yeah, and then
retaining
look
wall or
how
something.
weird he is for an arrangement.
Yeah,
the
very
little
strange.
balls, and he's lemon scented, so he has a nice strong scent. I just
love
think
that you're
he's such a
calling
weirdo.
This one a him, and some others you call a her.
I know.
This looks himmy.
I think
It
it's the balls.
does.
Yeah, it's a himmy.
But quickly, that is the size that you might ship, then, Rose.
That's the
4-inch.
size we're shipping in.
And
Yes.
and is that too? I mean, do you lay it on its side, or how do you ship it?
What we do is we have a package that actually the structure goes around it, so we don't generally have to cut.
Oh, wow.
The box is kind of elongated, so it makes it a little tiny bit more expensive to ship it, but you get the whole plant. We can literally cut it all the way down to here if we wanted to, but then you lose a lot of the plant.
Don't do it. I'm freaking out. Like, put the tip away.
But yeah, so we ship the whole plant that way.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I'm going to do some shopping here. This is really inspiring. And I'm so glad to know that I can order year round from you and have these shipped.
Yeah, we just take little short breaks.
There's also skeleton rose.
The skeleton rose is the one that we sell traditionally for
Forestry, right?
Straight across.
well
Yeah.
for insect repellent.
I know it as like the florist's favorite.
Insect
know it as, like-
repellent because it's like a citron. Citronella kind of.
Yeah.
The shape is beautiful.
And then this one is used a lot by the florist, but this one looks like a tomato leaf.
It
I
does
think.
look like a tomato.
I
That
love
one's
this
lemon
one.
rose.
Rober's lemon rose. Where's the one that you said was gray something? That you,
Gray.
Maple gray is right there. Smell it. The scent of
The
that one
leaf is
incredible.
beautiful, and then oh gosh, if only the camera could smell.
It does feel like you see the veining.
It's so good.
Maple gray.
Mabel, I like her. So she's a girl.
She's a girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's a girl.
Yeah, she's a girl.
And over there is a boy. Thank you both so much. I'm so inspired. It's just the tip of the iceberg. But I feel more confidence about taking some of these home and actually trying to grow them in my greenhouse and then putting them in the garden. And maybe you said some go down to 17 degrees.
Yeah, we take most of these down to 17 or 18 degrees here. We get cold. The ones that can't are like the peppermint, the chocolate peppermint,
The larger, softer, fuzzier leaves. Okay.
and the variegated ones like the variegated lemon crispum over there. Those can't go down that cold. But the rose scented geranium, we've taken that one down to hard, cold freeze, and it comes back.
Wow. Okay. Thank you guys so much. What a fun bonus feature.
Flower farmer. I want to sell my flowers, and I'm like, I want my whole backyard to be dahlias, and I'm like, if you do that, each dahlia you would have to retail for $200 to $300 by the amount of water that you're going to be using. So we take a lot of inspiration from the flower farmers in our landscapes, and we make everything really harvestable. Like there's some things I brought from my home, and then also from Rose's gardens. These are plants that you like set it and forget it. These are plants that are low water, they bring in pollinators, they are very beautiful, but you do not need to baby them like your tomatoes and your dahlias. And so it's really getting inspiration from those arrangements and then translating it into our California narrative. We are wet winter, dry summer. And I know this summer was glorious because it was nice and cool, but it will be hot again next year. So if you want a plant that thrives in Washington State, we have to put it in its own dedicated bed with really water efficient drip systems and only water that one section of the garden to make it happy. You cannot have dahlias in ground throughout your garden in California unless you want a $3,000 a month water bill.
So do you are trying to devote like dahlia zones like in a raised bed, and then that can be your dahlia town, and it's for harvesting.
It's for harvesting. So a lot of folks will show me beautiful photos from Washington State, also the UK and England, obviously the most beautiful gardens, and there'll be dahlias coming out of their like meadow blanket and borders, and I'm like, no, we can't have that. Because if you're hiring me, I'm going to be really honest about the cost of a garden. Is obviously setting up the cost of it, but it's also your maintenance and it's your water bill. So really getting inspired. There's so many beautiful plants in this garden that you can cut from. And what I do a lot of times is I look at something that is ornamental and I want to swap it with something that's edible, right? So like if the client wants magnolias, I'll be like, why don't we do for you persimmons? Same big glossy leaves, but instead of flowers, you're getting fruit, right? You can walk through this garden and be like, I really love the look of Lysianthus. I hate that plant, by the way. Everyone
I have
loves
had
it.
major failures with Lysianthus.
Yeah.
It's not a cutting garden flower for home gardeners.
No,
You have to buy plants. You can't start it from seed.
no, it's crazy. But you can get that look and that airy, beautiful feel from something else. And so the idea is that your entire landscape becomes the palette of your arrangements. So this morning, I cut some things at home. We're going to take this all apart, and I didn't arrange this. I just shoved it in, and it's just of the moment and really beautiful. My number one plant, I would say, is scented geraniums. If you all are not growing scented geraniums, you're missing out on one of the best sensory plants in the world. They come in every scent. There's like 250 varieties.
At least. And they're all deer resistant and drought resistant.
And gopher resistant.
And
gopher
gopher resistant.
resistant.
And if
Sell
you
that plant.
fertilize them and you treat them, like if you give them too much care, they will die. They want you to ignore them. And it's so great because we all need some plants that we can ignore and that just grow bountifully, and then you can take big cuts. They're fabulous. Everyone should have scented geraniums. And I think scented geraniums, if anyone is starting off as a florist or wanting to have a flower farm, it's the best bang for your buck because they're expensive to buy and they're so cheap to grow. So cheap to grow.
But they're on sale here.
Yeah, and they're on sale.
We have about 30 varieties right now for sale.
What's the lowest?
Temperature they can tolerate.
So it depends on the variety, of course. So she's cut some mints. She's cut a peppermint scented geranium, and that one is probably one of the least resistant to cold.
It's a little tender, isn't it?
It's a little tender.
Yeah.
So the peppermint scented
This
geranium
one has a-
can't go to less than about 28, 27, 28
Wanna pass that
degrees.
on?
But like the rose scented geranium, I've taken in a pot down to about 17 degrees, and it comes back. It looks terrible, but
Is
it
this the
comes
rose?
back.
Oh, man.
The rose scented geranium comes back.
And they're good in pots, they're good in.
They're terrific in containers.
But the peppermint one,
You can cut them
I
hard.
have a
can't you?
garden in
Yeah.
Palo Alto where obviously in the South Bay it's pretty mild in the winter. I use that peppermint one for one of my clients as a ground cover. Because she does a lot of floral work and we just let it run rampant in the back. And then she cuts huge pieces for her arrangements. And again, like 35% off, how much are they?
They're
Like-
normally $6.50.
$6.50.
Practically
This is
free.
not an expensive plant. You plant them
I
and
said I was gonna pack a box and have Rose ship them home to me.
Yeah, well, there's also one called chocolate mint that has a beautiful edging in it as well. But it's such an easy plant. You just put it out, and then occasionally, if we get really cold winter, every 5 to 8 years, we get a really cold winter. If it dies, it's not an expensive plant to replace the next spring. So those are really fun, and so plants that you can take big cuts of. I think scented geraniums are one of the easiest places to start in turning your landscape into really a cutting garden. It's really great.
So do you want to talk about some of these sides in the geranium, or are
Yeah.
we just talking
Yeah.
scented geranium?
Let me move the book and then you guys can jump in and
Yeah.
design. But you don't want to hold the mic while you're designing, do you? Or
Okay.
We can.
okay,
Yeah.
great.
Another plant that is in all of, so I also write garden books, if you all don't know me, but
Let's tell people why you love scented geraniums so much.
because they're fragrant, and my latest book is called The Fragrant Flower Garden.
And she's got a few copies here too.
I do. But yes, I will say a lot of my clients also, if you think about fragrance is actually one of the key things to actually engage your memory. And I will say I do a lot of memorial gardens. Someone's thinking about someone that they really love who's passed. One of the greatest ways to gather scents is through scented geranium. Someone will be like, my grandmother loved Rose of Attar, etc. However, this plant, not perennial, this needs to go in your herb garden. I've never gotten it to overwinter.
But some people do. So yeah, Debbie does in the South Bay, in the Bay Area, even in Sacramento, in internal patios. A lot of people are shaking their head. Yes, a lot of people get get these flowering basils to overwinter. And so there's one right, or
Right
there's two
behind you.
right behind. Oh, he's dancing.
Yeah.
This gentleman,
Right
he gets
there.
them to overwinter. So there's two of them in that raised bed right there. One is called Wild Magic with the dark purple flowers. The other one's called Magic Mountain. They are both sterile basils, so they don't produce seed. So you actually let these bloom. Interestingly, we grow everything that we sell here. These are patented plants, so we must get the cuttings in and pay a royalty fee for these. They're well worth it because they are fabulous and amazing plants. We planted those two little guys from little teeny cuttings in April, and they will keep going until maybe even January, sometimes even February. And then they poop out here. But for a lot of people, they will keep right on going. And they bloom. They have a fairly good flavor. Some people don't like to cook with them. I do. But they're also great for arrangements.
I think it's one of the number one things to put in your garden as a home gardener. If you're gonna add a really beautiful plant for filler. I also do arrangements where it's just big cuts of this, but there is a secret to this plant. It needs to be harvested first thing in the morning in shade. If the sun is already on this plant, no matter what you do, cutting it and putting it directly onto water, it is going to dehydrate. This I harvested this morning, and it's doing great. And this guy will probably last in the vase 2 weeks, and I'll lift it, and it'll even have roots. But if you harvest it in the afternoon or in the evening, it is going to poop out on you. I hate to say it. So you definitely need to know how to handle this plant. But once it's happy, it just goes, and look how beautiful it is. It makes every arrangement look really beautiful.
Can you say the cultivar again?
I'll let you do that.
Is this from the Wild
No, this is
Magic Mountain? So this is Magic Mountain, Basil Magic Mountain.
And the reason why I like this one, I grow them all.
Clearly she likes it.
I love this plant. I can't even tell you. I think everyone should grow it. But I like Magic Mountain because on the backside you've got the purple. So it just adds a really nice dusky quality to your arrangements.
And it
So you
tastes
said
good.
it grows roots after you put it in water?
Yes.
Do you ever stick it in the dirt? And grow
Yes.
another
So
plant?
what you should do is right now they're like in their height of glory. So in probably about 2-3 weeks, I'm going to cut some and let them root out, and then they spend the winter actually in a pot in my greenhouse, and then I can bring them back out to the garden. But I come back and buy them from Rose every spring. Not to worry. But that's what you can do. So another plant that's great from cuttings are heirloom mums. Are heirloom mums in the book?
Yes.
Okay, they should be.
Whole chapter on heirloom mums.
If you actually have an established bed of these, you can take your own cuttings and share them with friends. It's one of the easiest plants to do cutting from, in my opinion. And the heirloom mums, these were just little tips. This plant right now is 3 feet tall, and it is covered in buds. So it's just about to start. I get a lot of the purples and the apricots, but I brought purple because I was bringing the flowering basil. But this is another really great plant, and they're so expensive. Heirloom mums at the flower mart are going to cost like $30, $40 for a few stems, and one plant is going to give you so much. It is a great bang for your buck.
Remember, it's the joy of California gardening and West Coast gardening is that we get all of fall and into winter, and you can have flowers for your table all year long. You just have to be a little smart about knowing that fall doesn't mean everything's dead. And so that's why we want you to walk through the gardens. You have to beat your way through the flowers to actually walk through the pathways. And you have to zip around with the hummingbirds because we can grow flowers all year long. So you don't have to go and buy flowers.
So I'm just starting on this arrangement. So there's a whole, oh, go ahead.
Can you explain the difference, just for a gardener, between heirloom mums and mums?
Sure. Did you all hear the question? The question is what's the difference between the heirloom mums and then the traditional mums?
Usually means, but
So I think it's a great sales technique.
Yeah.
Kind of, I hate to say it, but like someone says a tomato is an heirloom tomato and it's a sun gold, this tumbled is not an heirloom, but you'll see they'll say it's heirloom. I think as well they refer to these mums as heirlooms. I think it's just the old cultivars, and especially King's mums. They sell a lot of the Japanese inverted styles, things that you don't find. These are not the mums that you find at the regular nursery. These are really hyper unusual ones. Can you explain it better than me?
A lot of times they put a year on it too, depending. So you'll see sometimes they'll say anything before, it's usually like the 1880s, the 1870s. So it's something that's at least like 150 years old.
So, go ahead.
Can you talk a little bit about your sort of flower arranging strategy? Are you starting with greens?
Thank you for the setup of what we're starting to do.
All right, perfect transition.
So, flower arranging 101. I am a self-taught flower person. I've taken flower classes, but I am not a professional florist. But I will say I do a lot of flower arranging. I personally do not use first of all, foam is a no-no. If you are using foam at home, you're hurting yourself. You do not want foam. But what you can do is actually get some chicken wire and make a ball and put it in your vase. I'm not even doing that today. What I'm doing is I'm taking my filler plants, which are right here, and I am actually putting them in the vase so that they're creating like a little web, and they'll actually then support the flowers in between their stems. So I'm purposely putting, there you go. I'll just do it again. So here's one here. I'm putting this, can you all see? Yeah. So I'm creating natural support. So when I come in and put the mums in, they won't fall over because they're being supported by these sturdy plants.
But you do strip the stems.
Pardon me?
You do strip the stems.
Yeah, I strip them. I was being lazy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of a lazy florist too. You should strip your stems. Yeah, you should strip your stems, and then in determining like the height, the best thing to do is actually go up against your vase like this, and you'll see what size it will be in the vase. That's also something that you can do. Earlier, Deborah and Rose very nicely let us have our way with her cut area. And Deborah was like, you just made that arrangement, because I actually tend to harvest by filler, secondary, and focal. Those are the three components of your arrangement. So you need the filler, the secondary, and the focal plant. But you can actually put your arrangement together in your hand as you're harvesting, and sometimes I'll just strip and then put them directly in. But since we're here, I thought I'd take the time and show you. So these guys are all pretty sturdy, and I'm just putting them in a way that I can then put the less sturdy focal flowers in, and they'll be held up by the filler. And I can't say enough, my favorite filler. Thank you, Rose. Rose introduced me to this plant, and as you can tell, I love it a lot. So you do want to, you'll see where the water level is, and then you want to strip. What do you like?
Well, I like feverfew.
Oh, well, I brought some from my garden.
I know, I see it.
So I tend to do kind of crazy things in my garden, which this year, by the way, Rose and I started teaching classes in my garden in Lafayette. So if any of you are in the direct East Bay, we teach here together a lot. But a lot of folks were like, I don't want to drive to Vacaville. So we started teaching in my personal garden. I use my garden as a testing grounds for my business.
And then I dry feverfew.
Yeah.
So it dries to a soft, kind of a creamy yellow white.
So I grew out 7 different varieties about 3 years ago, and they all live in my garden wherever they show up, because feverfew is a little invasive.
It's like 120,000 seeds per ounce.
Yeah. So really be thoughtful with your feverfew, but this beautiful feverfew, it's a double cup. It just showed up next to my blackberries, and I was like, oh great, I'm going to cut you today. They're fantastic. The one thing that you might not know about feverfew is that it actually retards pollinators. So if you have someone who is allergic to bees or is afraid of bees, one thing that I'll do in my gardens, because we need the pollinators, the whole point of fragrant flowers is they're fragrant for the pollinators, not for us. But if someone's really like is highly allergic, I'll use feverfew along a pathway or an entryway to a garden so it is a bee-free zone. But you never want to plant your feverfew underneath your fruit trees because your fruit trees need to be pollinated. So anything that needs pollination, don't put your feverfew near it.
And then you may ask, well, why do you dry the feverfew?
Oh yeah. Why do you dry it, Rose?
So you may notice that behind we have all the racks with flowers drying because some people are always thinking about fresh flower arranging, and some of us are always thinking about what do we do with our flowers to dry them. And I'll wander the gardens and I'll try to dry anything I can dry. I'll try to dry every weed that comes up here because I want it to be useful for me. So we'll dry every herb, we'll dry every weed, we'll try everything dried because we make a lot of dried arrangements, especially wreaths in the fall. That's kind of our forte. So we dry it, and if it can hold together and it looks pretty, we'll offer it as part of our wreath making. And so we'll open up boxes of every strange imaginable thing for our wreath making classes so that we do things like feverfew, but we'll even do things like this crazy weed dared to grow in the middle of my field. So I said, wow, that's pretty. Let's dry it. I have no idea what weed this is, but it's a weed that grew in the field, and it's super pretty. So we dried it. It held together at this stage, so it'll show up in the classes. I have no idea what it is, but it's pretty.
So one of the plants that Rose has right over there is this incredible variegated myrtle. And right now it actually has its fruit. So Rose very nicely let me go and clip. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this. It has great movement. The fruit is of great interest. I like to put edibles in my arrangements, no surprise, because I really feel like your arrangement should just be a snapshot of what your garden looks like in that moment, right? An arrangement is just celebrating your garden and what's in harvest. So I'll put cherry tomatoes, which we... Oh, I didn't tell you. I took some of your tomatoes. Sorry. But look how beautiful it is.
I suggested it, Rose.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well, the author suggested.
Sorry.
Okay.
This is actually a tomato that a lot of people ask me to plant for them, and I have to say, I hate it.
I love it.
I hate it.
You're out of here.
I know. So it's really great. This is indigo berry, right?
No.
No? Which one is this?
No, I don't like indigo berry either.
Okay, well then at least we're still friends. Indigo berry tastes horrible.
It tastes horrible. No, those are very young midnight snack.
This is midnight snack?
Yeah, girl.
Oh, midnight snack is a great cherry tomato. I just did, it's so purple. It's really, really, I picked it because of the purpleness.
Yeah.
It's really fantastic. I'm so glad. I was really judging your tomatoes, I have to tell you. It's really beautiful. I also plant a lot of, I do gardens for florists, and I plant a lot of the currant tomato. It's a real pain to harvest the currant tomato for eating. They're like this big, but in arrangements, the currant tomatoes are really beautiful. So I took some of your tomatoes. But definitely things like the tomatoes or the myrtle are just really beautiful things, and kind of what makes your arrangements really special. And again, you can cut anything. Like I happen to have, I garden in my home. My parents built, so I'm very lucky. I have a family home, and one of the things that's left in the garden from my mom's time is some lilacs, and not low water, but she loved them, so I love them. And for 2 weeks they're glorious, and the rest of the time they're the most nondescript green shrub. So they're kind of in the back. But I actually really love lilac foliage as a filler. So I cut from that shrub all the time for my flower arrangements. I'm just utilizing its really nice form and stickiness. And I mean by stickiness, not like it's sticky, but that the fact that it's kind of a gnarled old branch. I like seeing wood and branch in my arrangements, and so I use that a lot too. So you can pick plants at any stage of their development. So. But look how cute he is. So.
People make myrto out of the berries, and one of our people who's sitting in the audience made myrto for us one year, It's an alcoholic digestivo from Sardinia.
Okay. So this is where I am so far, by the way.
Beautiful.
I'm just kind of not even thinking about it as I'm just kind of, as we're talking. But the variegation is so beautiful, and I typically like the variegation to be up front because it can, and then I'm hopefully have one more piece and I'll give it some balance and put a little piece in the back.
Where's the tomato?
It's gonna get there.
Since you cut my tomato.
All right, so what other plants do you like for arrangements?
Well, again, I do a lot of dried arrangements, but this guy here, this annual Monarda bee balm.
Love this plant.
Yes. This is Monarda lambada. It's an annual bee balm, and I love it. I'm surprised the hummingbirds aren't here, like knocking it out of my hand. This is a beautiful stacked Monarda that people could use for tea if you wanted, but mostly it's used as an edible flower, and for drying and for fresh arrangements. It's beautiful at all stages. And this one is great fresh. It will last forever as a cut flower fresh. And I've been drying it also, and just the texture of it is beautiful as a dried flower. I don't think I've any dried. I think we put it all
Should we
away.
pass one around?
Sure.
It's incredible. So Rose and I, if you guys have come, we for the past couple of years have been teaching a lot of tea garden classes and really trying to redefine what a tea garden is. Most tea plants are tough as nails and should be in your landscape. You can harvest them for tea, you can harvest them for cocktails because the same things you drink for tea actually make a great cocktail typically.
It's not as open.
There we go. It's so beautiful. And I plant a lot of tea gardens, which are pollinator gardens, which are cut flower gardens. It's all kind of the same world. I do a lot of meadows that include tea plants. Hold on a second. But we also harvest for tea. I think what's going on. So what we'll do for our clients,
Interesting.
there you go, is we'll make a really beautiful bouquet based on taste. And so maybe with the Monarda, I might add a little lemon balm. I might do something more like the bee balm with chamomile. We make a beautiful little bouquet. We tie it at the bottom, and our clients enjoy it in a vase for a few days. They take it out, they snip the bottom. It already has some twine on it, and they just hang it upside down and they dry it for tea. So your arrangements don't have to be just for we're using plants that are medicinal. There are plants that are tea plants. You can take apart your arrangements after you've enjoyed them. Let's say you're having a dinner party, you want something really fabulous. Take it apart, hang it up, dry it. Rose does all these beautiful wreath plants. I am doing a wreath class here at Morningsun, and mine is just going to be on culinary because the idea is that this time of year, we're cutting back our perennial herbs to get ready for winter. You take those cuttings, you make a beautiful wreath out of it, and then all winter long, you're taking out your bergamot and sage and your dried thyme and your all the things that have dried on it, and you're using it in the kitchen. So it's like a harvest wreath that you actually are using. So that's the beautiful end, beauty and utility. It's kind of how I see things. So, what do you think? Oh, I'm going to use them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all purple. I would use it.
I know.
That's okay. I like
The arrangement's kind of getting away from me, but that's okay because I'm talking too much. So if I'm going to put something really tall in an arrangement, I actually usually like to put the same plant and make it short. So then when it's something tall over here, it just reflects and gives it a little bit of balance. All of these plants are so beautiful that I swear if you just put them in a vase, they'd look great. But since you're
I like to say they arrange themselves.
they arrange themselves, exactly.
Actually, I love what you've done with everything is edible.
Well, yeah,
It's beautiful.
I didn't even mean to, but those tend to be the plants that I go towards, are the edible plants. So this is where we are so far. Super pretty. And then I brought these mums, and I think we'll have Deborah come up and do an arrangement if you guys are all curious.
Yeah, I'd love to do one.
But Rose has the most beautiful zinnia I've ever seen. And this is not one of the fancy, you spend $20 for a seed packet kind of zinnia. This is like a $4.99 seed pack zinnia. And I think it looks like, I don't know. It's so beautiful. And I want to put it in this arrangement. So I picked some zinnias when they were kind of early in the stage. And I picked some kind of towards the end. I actually like it when there's movement in a stem like this on purpose. Because when it's in the vase and it's kind of low, it's going to be looking straight out instead of just seeing the very tops, which is also really pretty. So you're kind of looking for the shape of the plant as you're harvesting. And then she also has, I mean, you all just have to come up and come see everything at the end. But the amaranth is amazing. And then this is, when Rose comes back, I'm going to ask her, I think this is Santa Cruz. Let's see if I'm right. Rose, which oregano is this?
That one looks like, where'd you get it from? Santa Cruz.
Yeah. I got that over in your cutting
Oh,
area.
then it has to be Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz. So there's a whole world of edible oreganos, but there's a whole world of ornamental oreganos. And Santa Cruz is one of my favorites to mix with California natives in a dry landscape. It is tough as nails, and this time of year, you have all these seed heads, and they're so beautiful in arrangements. So when you go to cut back your plants, right now we're heading into November, you actually want to be cutting back your perennial herbs, and all of them make beautiful wreaths. They make beautiful arrangements. So as you're cutting back for your garden help, you're actually then harvesting for your table too. So this one's beautiful.
And actually that one, we harvest all of our oreganos. First of all, you should be eating your flowers. Eat all of your oregano flowers. And that Santa Cruz, we actually have an entire row of it over there in my neighbor's field. We squat on all of our neighbors' property. So if you're my neighbor, I'm sorry, because we will take over your land. But we have a whole row of Santa Cruz oregano. We harvest it multiple times. We dry it. It's one of our most popular filler plants for wreath making. So we've been harvesting it, and all of it harvests a lot lower. So this very last time is kind of its biggest flower. It's kind of really stretching out for this last time. But we have boxes and boxes that we've been harvesting since May of the flowers. And so Santa Cruz, the Italian oregano, the Syrian oregano, the Greek oregano, all of them we harvest. If we're not eating them, we're harvesting them and drying them.
So this is that zinnia that had the nice curve. So did you see I kind of cut it short, and then it just sits perfectly. It's not in foam, it's not in wire. All of the filler plants have just made this nice little web, and you can just pop it right in and it stands up. So I am not good at doing things backwards, so sorry.
That color pink bridges the Monarda to
Right?
the darker purples. It's fabulous.
And then I really want the mums in here since I cut them. So I think I'm almost done. But I could still add more.
Testing.
I typically, again, I'm not a professional florist, I'm just a home florist. I don't mind if the back of my arrangements are not super exciting, but what I'll do is typically I've cut something a little too short, like I did on this guy. So I'll usually will put whatever the focal is the zinnias, the big flower. I'll take a little one and I'll put it on the back of it. So if you're walking behind the arrangement, you get a little nod of what's in the front. That's what I like to do. So you can see, he's just back there.
Yeah.
You only will see him if you walk in the back.
So it's the cut flower version of thriller, filler, spiller. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, like a weed.
Yeah. So this is the annual. There's also, Rose has a great collection of perennial bee balm as well. My favorite one is raspberry wine. I planted it about 8 years ago, and it still lives in my garden where I did not plant it.
So the difference is the perennial ones, which are Monarda didyma, those don't stack multiple stacks. Those have like usually just one row of flowers, which are all delicious and edible and beautiful, but they aren't like this annual one. So the annual ones, which are this Monarda lambada, that one you can get in a seed pack, and easily from seed it will grow. And you can see it, if you want to see it live and on the hoof, as you walk towards the restrooms, towards the other side, you'll see right in front of the windows of my house, there's like a whole row of it growing. I have magical donkey poop. It's magic, and so I do.
Do you sell it, or is it just your secret stash?
It's my secret stash of my donkeys. And so I always put it right out in that field right by my house. And so I just turn a little bit of that in, and then that's where I put the seed, and up it comes like magic.
Wow. You too can have donkeys and magical donkey poop.
One can have one.
All right, so I'm gonna rise to the occasion and play. This I find arranging, just watching Stephanie. I felt like my whole metabolism just dropped in like a very positive, chill way. Like I've been running around. I was on an airplane yesterday, driving all around Bay Area, and I'm just sitting there watching her, and I find it like so therapeutic. So watching floral design or doing floral design is my way of kind of turning off the device and just concentrating on something beautiful from nature. And I find that my happiest place.